I'm Bob Delpizzo. I am 56 years old, and I'm an IT project manager.
I am Maura Delpizzo. Well, we've been married 30 years. It'll be 31 years this coming June. We grew up with that whole logic for working, that if you got an education, you would always be employed.
It was January 4th, I believe. It was right after I came back from the holidays. My boss came in my office as soon as he got in the door, and he came into my office and said, I needed to talk, and basically laid out the information. He sort of stumbled through it. It wasn't very long. It was maybe 10 minutes. He came in and said, look, we have to let you go, blah, blah, blah. Here's the paperwork. He went through the paperwork, and then he left. He said, pretty much, do you understand? I said, yes. Do you have anything to say? I said, no. I'm just trying to digest it all. And there was 2 weeks before you would leave. And at that point, I didn't really know what to do. So I was just trying to get things prepared, all my projects, notify all my clients, saying this is what's going to happen, and just get everything straightened out.
From my perspective, over those last 2 weeks, it was very hard for him to go to work. And so he was trying to finish things up. At the same time, he really was very upset, very upset. He wasn't sleeping.
It was a tough day. It was also the day that Sully landed in the Hudson. That was my last day. So I got out, and I don't know what problem, because of that, the bus lines the Port Authority was all messed up, and I ended up on the wrong bus, ended up in another town, and then I'm like, it's my last day, and I was like, just, I guess, a little upset as it was.
When he called me, he sounded just so upset. I can't even explain the pain in his voice. It was really something. I was mad, and I was hurt. I didn't want to see my husband hurt like that, and I felt really sorry for him, and I just didn't know what to do. We never experienced anything like that.
I've been working for, at the time, I guess, about 35 years straight, and picking the companies I wanted to work at, and never had a problem. As a guy, you define yourself by your job. You don't define yourself as a father or husband or anything like that. It's your job. Essentially, whether you're an employee or a consultant, you're just a hired gun. It's just the way it is, and it's business, and I understand that. But having grown up with a different thinking, where you keep your nose clean, you do your job, that's all it, that's what it took back then. Now, they just, they'll just work you until they can't work you anymore, or they don't need you. When I got the job with AT&T, they said, this is like a government job. You'll be here forever. Well, that worked out for so long. And I wasn't a networking person. I was a programmer. Engineers in general, your heads down, you do your work. You're not a salesman. You don't want to be a salesman. It's not your nature. And here we are forced to being salesmen. The difficulties you find are, first of all, you have the requirements, the job requirements. And there may be 10 different requirements. In the old days, if you had 8 of the 10, you could pretty much get the job. Now you have to have 12 of the 10. And especially working for a large company, you get to be cubbyholed. You just stay in one little area. You don't get that broadening. So it's difficult to apply for other jobs if you don't have that skill set. I'm scared to death that I'm still out of work, and I wake up every morning and I'm anxious. Literally, I'm anxious. It's tough getting up in the morning, but you get up, you put your shoes on, you go in, I get dressed up, I don't do the pajama thing. Go down in the office and you look for work. It's a roller coaster. I mean, emotionally, on a day in, day out, there's days where, you're just bummed out. You go through the motions, but you're really not applying yourself. They say, well, now positions may be, you may not get a job for 15 months or something like that, or 2 years. Like, are you kidding me? How do you keep the momentum? How do you keep that positive feeling? And it's just tough.